What up, fight fans? Fun card this week from UFC Seattle. We just came back from London. We got all these road cards and all this good stuff going on. Matty controversy in the London main event. I thought we were going to the scorecards and I heard some 48, 46s. I was like, man, that's a big win for Lerone Murphy. And then it changes up last second. Lots of debate about it this week. I mean, if you ask me, it was a pretty close fight. And so it wasn't like gigantically shocking, but I did think Murphy won the fight, so some controversy for us a little bit this week.
Yeah, I thought it was a draw because of the point deduction, but
yeah,
I think the better fighter at the end of the day got his hand raised, but
sure,
it's definitely controversial for sure.
So if you had an Evloev ticket, it had to be maddening to watch him not wrestle for the first two rounds because it felt like every round could have looked like the last four or the last couple. So
yeah, no, 100%. I know Hayden cashed last leg of the decision parlay. He probably thought it was cooked after the point deduction.
Yeah, I could not believe that point was deducted. Like, I don't hate it because I don't think we take enough points in general, but I thought that all but clinched it for Lerone. But that, the commentary was very biased. Apparently, this is why I don't listen to commentary with my fights. Most of the time, I don't have the sound on. I wish there was a stream where I did not have commentary but had the octagon sound. I would watch it and nonstop.
Interesting.
But like that's why I like the sky cams in football and stuff like that. I feel like it gets in the way. But Matty, we turned the page here. We got a card in Seattle, second trip for UFC to Seattle in about a year or so because we were here last March. In total, we have 13 fights on this card. A lot of veterans and a lot of names that we remember, and then a pretty big time main event at middleweight. So, what's your overall impression on the card?
I think it's a great betting card. I like the card.
Me too. I really did. I was able to get in, model some of these, and I texted you this week. I said, this is the end of your drought. I got some ones that I'm really going to try to sell you on this week, and I really, really like the way this stays.
Seems like there's a lot of sub chances this week too.
And we need them, man. We're not going to hit a cycle on a card without a sub, and that's what UFC London brought for us.
Bro, I had the best cycle of the whole card. I had the closest one. The decision hit, Bayo hit. The sub, I at least had a rear naked choke attempt. It was the only sub opportunity on the whole card.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of, I always listen back to our podcast just to see what I'm thinking. Also, so I don't forget if I find something on the show, like to actually bet it. But we were struggling so badly with the sub and we ended up being dead on. It's like we couldn't find one we liked. So
obvious.
Yeah. It sucked, but we definitely have some on this card. We'll see if it includes this first fight up. We'll dive into UFC Seattle here, starting up at Strawweight with Alexa Tainara taking on Bruna Brazil. This is actually a rematch from the regional scene years ago in 2019. These ladies fought. So Tainara coming back minus 720. I think that has to do with Bruna Brazil generally being Bruna Brazil. But Matty, what do you think of this matchup with the odds so wide and potentially looking to the prop market instead?
Bro, you want to hear the craziest shit ever?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a fighter that subbed a fighter in the first match, and then in the rematch, the sub is 35-1?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not on it, so everyone can chill. But, like, have you ever seen anything like that? Like, if a fighter submitted someone and then they fight in a rematch, the sub is 35-1. That just shows the level of progression that Tainara has gone through.
Yes.
Completely different level of fighter than when they fought however many years ago. But I'll tell you what, I think everyone's going to be chasing Alexia by sub here. I like the decision angle on this one. I don't think Brazil is that easy to get to the ground and sub. I think Tainara can kind of win minutes on the feet by like attempting to grapple, win minutes up against the cage, maybe land some strikes up against the octagon. But I don't think she's going to get her down and sub her in the way that like a Molly McCann fight went.
Yeah. I mean, Molly McCann has those warts that we well know of, and she's coming off a fight against Loma Lukbunmi where she didn't find the sub. So, what do we got going on here?
I had to mute people. It's poker night at my HQ, so it's loud back there.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, honestly, go join it. You got Trocoli back there, bro?
He's literally dead to me.
Yeah, no poker invite there, but it's a little unfortunate to let's see, Bruna by TKO. Let's pay for a house. I mean, this line is
a crazy number, bro. She's not going to finish Tainara, and like it's an insane number.
Yeah, I have Bruna point plus 379, which is most of her win equity, basically all of it, if you will. So, I mean, that could be one of those long shots that if she ends up now, I will say this. I bet Bruno Brazil against Ketlin Souza. That fight was just crazy infuriating to watch because it felt like Souza just had no idea what she was doing to get Brazil to the ground. And Bruno drives me nuts when I watch her, man, because she you see her let go of some of the knees and some of the elbows, and you see all the potential. And it's almost like there's like a roadblock. Like she can't put the skills together. She doesn't really know what to use, to use what and when. And when these ladies fought, I think Tainara did win the first 2 rounds, and she got guillotined with a very wrestling heavy approach. So it is at least at the it's interesting. And Tainara, though, in that first fight was 22 years old or so. This time coming back 27, I believe. So definitely further into that growth route. And Tainara is actually the third largest favorite I've ever modeled in my model. 76% flat if you round it to the nearest tenth of 10. I've got sub plus 183 and decision plus 262. So model likes the sub here. I don't know how I feel about it because anecdotally, I sort of agree with you. Bruna has never been tapped as a pro. But I think that's my model reading into a lot that Tainara, a lot of submission volume in her first 3 UFC affiliated starts. So.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, the number's not bad, but I think Tainara by decision, it's like minus 115. I think that's how the fight goes.
Yeah, Tainara decision minus 115, submission plus 240, and then points is plus 700. So I honestly, all of those seem relatively playable. So I definitely think I'm gonna be on Tainara sub here just to follow the model's verdict, but I just have a hard time closing my eyes and envisioning how it happens. Probably 2-3 if I had to guess, but
yeah. I mean, how many subs does she have now?
Tainara,
8 out of 14 fights is crazy, bro.
yeah. The McCann thing is very real that you said that Molly. I mean, we saw Julia Stolyarenko quickly tap her, and Blanchfield wasn't even competitive.
Everyone McCann has kind of skewed the number.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I honestly expected the points and submission outcomes to be way closer than they are. It's kind of interesting, and we could interpret that 2 ways. That maybe you do have the sharp read here, or maybe it's just that fact that Brazil hasn't been tapped as a pro. I think that this is an interesting fight from a betting perspective.
Yeah, not with you.
So we'll move forward. I guess I won't be able to talk you into Tainara sub for the cycle, but I have plenty of other darts as well. We'll get into, and you actually have fired on a couple that I already like. So it's going to be a good week. And this is a good fight that we get to.
Did you like the 49-1 parlay?
I do like it a lot. I like it a lot. And
once we get some more live viewers on here, it's
as you've had these, it feels like you asked me, and I'm like, I don't know about that, but I actually really do like that 49-1 a lot. We'll get to it here, but first, let's look at this sick fight at bantamweight. Ricky Simone in his backyard, Seattle. Remember last time he was in Seattle, he had that huge knockout of the bad Basharat. Was that Javid?
Yeah.
Is Javid the bad one? Okay. He had the bad Basharat is who he ended up knocking out cold. It was one of the cleanest shots of last year. Now he's taking on Adrian Yanez, looking to go 2-0 in Seattle. We got to comment another good fight. I think so too. I like both of these guys a lot. Was able to model this guy too, Matty. But what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, this is a deep card, bro. It's like there's good fights low down on the card, which is good to see. Yeah, I mean, the first number that stuck out to me on this one was the Adrian Yanez by points plus 340.
Okay.
Really stuck out to me. Ricky Simone by points is the most likely outcome at plus 135. I don't think Yanez is going to be able to chin Ricky Simone. I mean, who's really chinned him? It was Sonya Dawn in round 5. I just think that he's durable. He'll implement some wrestling, which could tick the clock a little bit. But I think if you got to pick a guy on the scorecards, you're getting plus 340 on Adrian here. You kind of waiting to see for him to step up against a decent level fighter and get a W. And I'm wondering if this could be the spot here.
Yeah. Matty, I didn't anticipate to agree with you, but this prop market looks very different than I thought it was going to. So we have Simone points plus 135, Yanez points plus 340, and then Yanez KO plus 340. I've got Yanez decision plus 303. And let's see. Yanez in my interview said he would get a takedown. He's at Fortis Gym now. Oh, don't tell me he's at Fortis. That's a disaster. I don't love Fortis.
I shouldn't take that. He's gonna get fucking guillotined.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot on Ricky Simone either, but Yanez 81% takedown defense looked really good in the Marcos fight, so that's why I think this is so interesting. But I'm going to ask you a question, I guess, as I sort of, I've gone back and forth with Simone, and I backed him as a big underdog against Basharat, but doesn't it feel like he's kind of lost a step just a little bit?
I can see it.
Like he had that tight fight with Ione Barcelos and like had zero answers in the Vinicius Oliveira fight that has not aged particularly well. Yeah, like and Mario Bautista dominated him.
Have you seen how fucking delusional Vinicius Oliveira is on Twitter?
Yeah, I unfortunately have.
Bro, that guy, I know he's trying to like just be relevant and stir the pot, but the tweets he sends out are like the most delusional things I've ever seen.
Yeah, coming off a really embarrassing submission loss where I felt like he gassed out in 6 minutes. Not great. But like I think I'm with you where I was expecting to be sort of right on the line of whether I'd even want to bet this fight at all. I have Simone minus 130. And then Ricky Simone points plus 189, most likely outcome I have for him. So the thing that I see the smidgen of value, I'm mostly aligned with sports books, but I do kind of like that points number at plus 340 if I like anything. And the total here, this fight minus 172 to go the distance. I guess my only fear for that would be if Simone got top time. Like he was able to get on top of Yanez. He's got a really good arm triangle, that type of thing. But
don't you think Simone is more finishing upside here?
Yeah, I do. And by the way,
it's another reason why I like the Adrian points one, because if anyone gets a finish, it's Ricky. And then if it hits the cards, you have a guy that has good volume on the feet, good accuracy on the feet, and you're getting like almost 3-1 better.
Yeah.
On the scorecard. So I think it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. A lot of numbers to dive in on this. So let's see. What's fight ends KO? Because we've seen Yanez get chinned by Rob Font, and then Simone obviously has power himself. So fight ends KO. Yeah, it's not a good enough number. It's plus 200.
You're going to knock out Ricky, bro. I mean, Ricky fought Bautista, Vinicius Oliveira.
Yeah.
Sonya Dawn. No one's really KO'd him inside of 3 rounds. So it's just like, it's really tough to get there.
I mean, you look at the list of guys that Yanez has dropped: Vinicius Salvador, Tony Kelly, Randy Costa, Gustavo Lopez, Victor Rodriguez, Brady Huang. Not really any like guys that are roster staples. So I like Adrian's boxing well enough, but I still kind of waiting to see him go out and do it. Got to a split decision with Marcos, who, by the way, I feel like Marcos is better than Ricky Simone. Do you?
You feel like who?
Daniel Marcos, Yanez's last fight. I feel like Marcos is better than both of these guys. Okay. So yeah, I feel like we're in the right range, and I agree with you that Simone generally tough to finish. I think Yanez points is my angle here too.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Did not expect it. I thought Yanez KO would be a lot longer than that, but it's not. So we'll take it. We'll look for value wherever we can find it. We'll see if we can find it here at light heavyweight. Navajo Sterling, one of the bigger favorites on the card, taking on Bruno Lopez, in his last fight, a victim of our guy Dustin Jacoby. That doesn't necessarily mean he's a bum altogether. We'll see how he responds against Sterling here, Matty. What do you think of the City Kickboxing product as a big favorite here?
How long ago? That was May 2025. It feels like it was more recent than that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's now been carried by Jacoby and Brenson Ribeiro.
Yep.
What's the prop on Navajo by KO, bro?
That's music to my ears that you just said that. It's minus 160, dude. Okay, so here's a guy that has been going to decisions with everybody, and all of a sudden he's now minus 160 by KO.
No. The decisions, Rodolfo Bellato, who has kind of aged better after his last performance.
Yep.
I think the Tuco one, not getting him out of there, is kind of the one fight that leaves some question marks.
And Urslan's the guy you got to sub if you're going to get him out of there. His head is made of brick too.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you think it'd be early or late though?
You know what I had written in my notes? I have Sterling 1-2 KO. I think this is his highlight, dude.
Yeah, 1-2s. I'm with you, bro.
I feel like at this point Lopez's chin is way too high of a liability. I love Dustin Jacoby, but you look round 3 against Petrino, round 2 against Julius Walker. I don't see him as a guy with a lot of one punch power, and Lopez went out right away. The Brenjison Ribeiro loss did not age particularly well. And honestly, the win against Gagiazulov was ugly. It was just cage pushing the entire time as well. So
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little bit better odds and more controversial, but dang, Sterling KO 1 is plus 240, KO 2 plus 390. So it's kind of expensive, but
yeah. What's the decision price?
It is Sterling points plus 420.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then Sterling sub plus 900, Lopez points plus 800, Lopez KO 13.
420 is crazy though.
I so disagree with our commenter that we had that said Navajo is super overrated. I mean, this guy has gone in there against 3 pretty well-respected opponents, plus 3.53 striking success rate, positive striking accuracy and defense numbers, and hasn't gotten taken down like a lot of city kickboxing guys, 75% defense. So I feel like he's a really great prospect, dude.
Yeah, 420 is a good number though.
I don't even think it's crazy to think that by the time he is 30, like Carlos Olberg, he'll be a better fighter than Olberg from the same gym. I mean, what have we seen that he doesn't do particularly well, other than maybe, he turned to his wrestling a lot and was kind of conservative, but like he was still dominating those dudes.
Yeah.
So what do you think of those numbers? Like, do you lean points now that it's so wide?
Oh, I select the KO, but I was surprised. I thought that number was gonna be like plus two something.
Yeah,
that is great.
I just see a guy that's cashed 3 straight decisions minus 160 knockout. It feels like sportsbooks are telling me without telling me there.
Lopez by sub is crazy.
I mean, I will say that is the one thing Sterling hasn't necessarily faced yet, because you look at his competition: Bellato, Urslan, Tuco Tokos, maybe a little bit with Tokos, but not a ton of submission danger at a high level.
Yeah, that's great.
But is that even Bruno's game? Like, what is it, 50-1 for Seb? It's 17-1. It's not too bad, but
yeah, no, I can't do it.
No way. I don't want to. I don't mean to say this, but I feel like I'm kind of seeing the board pretty clearly right now. And like when I saw this matchup, I was like, oh, UFC wants to give him a spot to actually be cool again, because he had that big finish on the Contender Series and just kind of some dud fights since. But I like the bomb.
To a chalky KO like I did it last week, and it hit in the first minute of the fight. Minus 188. Fucking should have been the last leg for 100 G's.
Is there ever a fight that we have talked about and I listened to us back talk about it? It's like everybody knew what was going to happen with Baranowski. I was like, maybe you could go for the sub dart at plus 500, but we kind of know what's going to happen here, and it didn't even last 30 seconds. Super cool that fight happens.
It's insane, bro.
I'm telling you, though, that the Iwo Baranowski fade is going to be generational. I promise you guys. Like, it's just the number is just going to be too big at a certain point because the hype is out of control. But over takedowns for Sterling. And that's the thing I like about Sterling. He's been willing to go to his wrestling. And I think he's kind of been sharpening that skill before the competition gets tough. Like
I don't think he would survive good ground and pound either.
No. That'd be so impressive if he was able to ground and pound. But I will move on because we got a lot of prelims to get through. I don't want to take everybody's time yapping like I always do. I hear it in the comments. But Matty, let's move up to flyweight, women's flyweight here. King Casey O'Neill is back. She's taking on Gabby Fernandez in a fight of multi-time winners in this division, a ranking on the line in this division. Like when you're talking about card depth, I think this is another good one buried on the pretty early prelims. So what do you think of this matchup, man?
I feel like we're about to be aligned again, bro.
Okay.
I have a feeling you're going to be on Casey O'Neill by points.
Why?
Am I right?
You are, but why?
I fucking knew it. Bro, because look, Gabby Fernandez, it's that classic value that you get on a fighter that fucking pulled a rabbit out of their hat and found the finish against Juan Khan. or Conwan, whatever the fuck her name is. It's that classic spot where like you continue to get value on a fighter that had some big highlight that they wouldn't get 9 out of 10 times. And then I think we're just getting the better, younger fighter here to win on the scorecards against a durable fighter in Fernandez. So
yeah,
let me see what that price is, but I know that's going to show value on your model. I'm willing to bet it.
You as a bet, Matty, you've been
plus 200.
You've been telling me how cold you are with bets. You would have cashed that one. I've got O'Neal decision plus 112, most likely outcome of the fight.
For that, that's going in a cycle.
Yeah, I've got Casey.
A women's cycle, but I don't think we're going to be able to because there's 2 decisions.
Yeah, we'll have to take a
get there on the Tainara sub if we have to on a women's cycle because the number's good.
Do we have another chance on the fight?
Yeah.
Oh, Grasso, shoot. We'd have to play Barber or Grasso KO if we were going to do it.
Shit sucks, but I would just take fight to end by KO and pray for miracle.
like the Tabitha Ricci kind of fluke thing. See if you got lucky. Yeah. But
fight to go to distance and Tabitha fucking Ricci TKO'd someone.
But let me also chime in here. So I've got O'Neal 67% to win. She's always been kind of a model favorite. I tweeted out this week the result that's kind of holding me back a little bit is whatever happened against Ariane Lipski. You remember that fight when O'Neal was a big favorite and she had nothing for Lipski that night. She said she got concussed early, and that kind of thing can happen in MMA. But you look at the results since. Luana Santos was huge for this 125-pound division, took her down and controlled her. And like Fernandez's last fight, I'm not even going to talk about the Wong Kong thing because we know it's kind of fluky. Carrying Julia Stoliarenko to a striking decision where she got outlanded is crazy. That is a horrible result, and we've seen Fernandez have really big problems with her get-up game, getting up off her back. She's probably worked on it. I think she might be stronger here, but the thing that my model, I think, loves about O'Neal is her pace. She lands almost 8 significant strikes per minute, very accurate, defensively responsible. I thought she won the Jennifer Maia fight, but it was a tight decision that could have gone either way. Casey to me has always been a girl I've had on top 10 radars. I don't know what happened against Lipski for certain, but I have no choice but to back her here. I've got her minus 201. So I bet her yesterday because we finally started to see this line move her way. And I wouldn't be surprised if this closed closer to a pick 'em.
Bro, this has got to be a record. We literally, every fight, we were pretty close to a line on this one.
Yeah.
Aligned on this one completely, aligned completely, and aligned.
It's going to be a good week.
Let's hope so. We're either getting killed or winning a lot together.
And by the way, we get comments sometimes that I just agree with whatever you say. I have my model results since Sunday. I haven't touched them. They just are what they are, you know?
I know that, bro. I'm starting to know what your model's going to spit out, though.
You do. You kind of know at this point. That's fine.
I'm sure. Model. Can you model Bellator fucking
No, because so I'm so disappointed that like I actually talked to like the head honchos at PFL and they told me they were going to have all this investment in fight stats and things like that, and they show it sometimes on the broadcast, but there's no library or data I can use online. So it's unfortunate. But what Matty's talking about is this next fight up here. Bellator and PFL alum Tyrell Fortune taking on Marcin Tybura at heavyweight. We've come full circle. UFC is now recycling Bellator's heavyweights. That's the sad state of the division right now. Matty, what do you think of this matchup? Fortune's actually taken some money this week. He's all the way up to minus 146 in spots. So big edge in his favor with Tybura on the other side. We kind of seen him a bit in UFC.
I have not watched any tape on him, so I can't give you guys a lot of feedback here. I think Tybura might be submission or bust, and it's like, do you really trust him to snatch something up? So I have no fucking clue. I'll defer to you in the chat on this one.
Well, I mean, I don't have a particularly strong lean here, but we got a great comment there. Everyone going Fortune, but UFC experience is a real thing. I did watch Fortune's whole fight against Linton Vassell. I watched the quick submission loss he had to Sergio Billistini in PFL. What?
Was that the heel hook?
It was the heel hook. Yeah, it was a heel hook. And when I say that, I'm like, this guy's struggling with PFL regional level heavyweights. And I think the question is just how toast is Tybura, because that Ante Delia fight was not a good look for him. Especially when Delia comes out, he loses to Waldo, which was understandable. And then the Spivak fight also didn't go his way. So, like, has Tybura clearly lost a step? But then you remember a year ago, he beat Mick Parkin. So it's like, and you and I both love Mick Parkin, and I think he, what? Oh, yeah, you've had some tough results with Mick.
No, it's just that I think the guy's the worst power of all time at heavyweight.
Yeah. Do you remember when we bet him by points against Brzezinski, and then he somehow found a way to chin him like early? Like, we were so close to that fight, getting around to and being good, but
fluke.
Regional PFL heavyweights can be ranked in UFC. And look, it is heavyweight, so anything can happen. But Matt, I think my strategy here, I'm just going to let this line keep ballooning because Fortune on tape looks faster. And, he's the new exciting guy. And Tybura looked really bad in his last fight. And then I'm probably going to scoop up Tybura around plus 130 for like a unit and see if he can just neutralize him. I call Tybura the great neutralizer. He's just a fridge that's in the way. He's hard to move. He's hard to take down. He's got good defense. He's got these sneaky kicks. Like, there's nothing special he does other than kind of be in the way, and that's how he beat Romanov way back in the day. But yeah,
it's crazy that the most likely outcome is Tyrell by KO at plus 155.
Yep,
and then there's not a single number south of 4-1.
And Tybura, yeah, go ahead.
No, everything is like a long shot price, and then there's just Fortune by KO, and that's it.
Tybura sub at plus 420 is weird and interesting. That is so short. That is really weird.
Just play the fight under 2.5.
Yeah.
What is that price? Under 2 or no, under 1.5 is plus 112. The over 1.5 is minus 140. You almost want to sweat that at that price.
I think an under fight might be good. Oh, see, over one. I've got over 1.5 at minus 140.
Yeah.
And over, I think, would be very good for Tybura here. It means he didn't get sparked quickly, and I feel like he's got an experience the deeper these waters go.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe a Tybura 3 decision is the type of... Yeah. But, like, I in general, I think Tybura is a guy that as long as he's not totally toast and done, I feel pretty good about him. And Fortune, and another thing that I want to note before we move on, Fortune, a couple fights ago, I think 6 months ago, he fought some 52-year-old dude and knocked him out in, like, 30 seconds. I get worried when these guys drop to that poor level of competition because you can pick up bad habits, when you're in there against guys you're going to just absolutely nuke.
This guy picture, bro. Draymond Green with a rear naked choke.
Rudy Gobert back in the day.
It's crazy.
Is Fortune in shape? He's coming in on short notice. It's heavyweight. And neither of these guys are really up against that 265-pound limit. So,
yeah, I'm sitting down, bro. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, definitely won't make the cycle. That's for sure. So we'll move on here to this lightweight battle here. Chase the Dream Hooper is back. We got all sorts of cool stuff for Chase Hooper Fight Week. We got a Chase Hooper interview on Home of Fights YouTube. We got Chase Hooper merch in the Home of Fight shop. We got Chase Hooper as a minus 280 favorite here against Lance Gibson Jr. So, Matty, what do you think of Chase Hooper coming off that disappointing loss to Alexander Hernandez last time we saw him?
Chase Hooper bounce back performance. I think he subs him, bro.
Okay.
I think a decent value spot because Gibson's never been subbed.
Okay.
He actually has 3 submissions himself, but I just think the levels on the ground. You know what sub really aged the best for Chase was the Jordan Levitt one.
Definitely.
We just saw Jordan Levitt go 3 rounds and win a decision as a huge underdog against a guy that supposedly has good grappling. And I think that sub aged better than anything Hooper's done finish-wise.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. It's either probably a decision or sub. But, man, how can we not take Icy Chase Hooper by sub, bro? And that's a picture of the merch if you guys want to check it out. ShopHomeoffight.com. Go copy a Chase Hooper shirt if you're going to bet him this weekend. Go check it out. But Chase, we just did a merch deal with Chase, so if you guys want to go support that, go take a look. But I'm rocking with Chase, bias aside. I think Lance is decent in that department, but I just think that it's asking a lot for him to stay out of danger for 15 minutes. Chase could get it in so many different ways, even if it's traditional takedowns.
Do you like it early or late for him?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I think this takes my award for toughest fight for me this week because I obviously don't have a model result with Gibson just being so new to UFC. I thought he kind of outperformed my expectations against King Green. But God, could the matchup be any different as far as you're trying to hit Bobby Green at distance and he's moving, he's got his footwork, he's got his head movement, and then you got Chase Hooper who keeps his head on a center line with his chin way up in the air. But then he brings this sort of submission danger on the mat where you have to be wary of that as well. And I'm very conflicted. You want to throw that link up there? Is it shophomeafight.com? It's where you can get the icy.
.com, boys.
Yeah.
Go get me a Chase Hooper shirt.
That picture's even cold, bro.
I think it's $40, boys. And the material is fire. I will say that. The material is fire.
Yeah. But like the way these lines sit is very interesting to me because I feel like Hooper is definitely the two with name value. Gibson is a really tough guy to see like where exactly he'll stack up in UFC, and he's just a really good athlete. I think he's a pretty good grappler, but not a lot of knockout power, which has historically been Chase's undoing. Exactly. This is the one fight where I really just don't have a good feeling, because if you told me Gibson was able to keep his feet here and just dominated Hooper in the striking, I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me Gibson got quick tapped by Hooper, I wouldn't be surprised. It's just really hard for me to pick an angle that I love here as we sit here on Wednesday.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
The number's pretty forgivable. Hooper plus 220. And in my write-up, I have, if you like Hooper, I think you bet the early sub, because I think that's how he covers this money line.
I'm with you. We got a super chat here. Sterling decision, Piper sub, Nika KO in 20. If that shit smacks, my man deserves that plus 420 odds.
I was going to. I think we will amend that if you end up going with that one.
And by KO, and then
that's what I was going to say. Why don't we amend that, because you can still get a good number.
4-1 instead of 8-1.
Yeah, I definitely think we could. You could get a lot more value without having to go crazy and take Nico Price in the big 2-6. But why don't we move on, Matty? I don't have a good angle there, and I like your assessment of that one. What about this one here? I think something tells me you might have a little action on it. Maybe it was that Telegram notification I got a little bit ago. Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Tofik Musayev. Musayev coming off a debut loss to Miktabek Oralbai, and our guy Lahala Ignacio Bahamondes, a hard-fought loss to Marcin Tibura. Rafael Fiziev, very different opponent. So what do you think about Ignacio? Dangerous fight for him inside the rankings. Taking this fight could give Musayev a big bump if he ends up losing. But what's the handicap here?
I like Ignacio by sub, bro, plus 450. Maybe a front choke, maybe a triangle. Who this guy got triangled in his past. Ignacio triangled Jalen Turner. Probably a harder guy to submit. This guy's probably not going to want to strike with him, which means he could wrestle into some danger here. Look at the reach difference. Look at the arms. I think he can lock up. I even asked Bilal. Bilal said the sub is hidden. Inside information for you guys. Is hidden. He said this guy's not going to strike with him, and he's going to wrestle into some danger. I love Ignacio's chokes, bro. I think it's the most underrated part of his game.
I completely agree. His jiu-jitsu is pretty nasty. He's not much of a wrestler, but his jiu-jitsu is nasty.
He pretty much subbed Jalen Turner into retirement.
Yes, and then now Turner comes back. Bahamondes was plus 650.
Yeah, that number would have been nasty.
Are you out here moving lines? But yeah, I obviously no model with Musayev, just less than 5 minutes in here. But I remember in my write-up and stuff with Musayev, I was thinking to myself, I'm a little worried. He's 2-3 by sub as a pro, and he comes out, and I know Oralbai is really good, right? But Oralbai was able to lock up a Kimura and get him in that position. And now Ignacio's got all this tricky stuff off his back. And you look at Musayev's regional tape, he's just a striker. Like, I only ever see him at distance. I don't even know if he's got a wrestling plan B if he needs it against Ignacio. So my favorite play here was Bahamondes inside the distance. I think the money line at minus 295 is not a bad number whatsoever. Musayev's one of these guys, they signed him for the Baku card. And sometimes these just kind of flop, just like they do off the Contender series. And, when we've seen Ignacio lose to a Ludovic Klein, Fiziev in his last fight. Fiziev got 4 takedowns. It's been his takedown defense, and I just don't see it from Moussaiev. I don't know that he's got it from anything that I was able to find online. So I get the guy with a 6-inch reach edge, and you're telling me I like plus 460 on the basis I don't think this guy can grapple at all. I'm with you, man. So like I like inside the distance best, but I no problem with the submission sprinkle here.
Let's run it, bro.
You already did. So there's that. We could just move on. You already
slip. I'm gonna show the slip. I'm gonna spoil it, bro.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, he did.
There it is, boys. Now, I didn't get the greatest price in the world on Bahama sub, but look at that fucking Joe Pyfer price.
Yeah.
Austin, Joe Pyfer price is plus 400 to 500 better than the entire fucking market right now. That's no big. You guys can check that out. Code FIGHT. You get $50 for free to play with.
Wow.
That's 50-1 odds on 2 guys that I think that's their easiest path, bro. I really do.
Wow.
I'm absolutely in love with it. This is the one for me. A little 2-leg submission special. The cycle's been cold. This is a card full of subs, so I'm trusting that this is the long shot to bring me back to life.
Be careful pounding your table. I know you're pounding the table, but you're right next to your mic. It's coming through. You're quite literally pounding the table for it.
What's crazy is I posted an IG reel on Pyfer by sub today.
Yeah.
And bro, the whole world is backing Adesanya, and I didn't see that coming.
Really?
Like every comment is donation. You must have forgot. Adesanya's going to style on him. I'm like, bro, he's 0-3 in his last 3. Like, I would have thought that at least some people would be in agreement. I love the Pyfer sub even more now because everyone fucking despises it.
Yeah, there's no arguing with that number. It is like plus 500 everywhere else. So nobody on this earth can say that's a bad bet if you got plus 910 on that number compared to the market. So
it's still live. It's still live right now. I just checked it earlier, boys.
Yeah.
So if you want to go check it out, it's the only place in the world you can get 9-1 on Pyfer sub. Spend $5 on Novig. Use code FIGHT. They're going to give you 50 to play with. I'm telling you, they have not moved the number as of like an hour ago. So maybe they did recently, but earlier today it was still the same number.
It's crazy. And shout out to our friends Novig. You're in Florida. I'm in Texas. No FanDuel, no DraftKings, and they're giving us numbers like this. And it's easy as hell to bet. It's a 10 out of 10 true perfect winner. But Bahamondes sub is the sprinkle in the read here, and Austin approved. Again, no model with Messiah, but I definitely like that lean as well. All right, Maddie. So before we dive up onto the UFC Seattle main card here, reminder about our guys to keep the lights on at Home of Fight. We saw green, big time green for both of them last week. Code HOF if you want to join our friends at Home of Fight Picks, Nolan and Hajive. You can enter code HOF, get 7 days free, winnable.com/HOF picks, or you visit HOF picks on Instagram. Very important you get the Instagram handle right. You can just reach out to me at Swaim3. I'll tell you where it is. I don't mind pointing you to these guys. Hajive already has a lot of stuff up for DFS this week for UFC Seattle, so that stuff is live. And Nolan has absolutely dismantled 2026 thus far. So join in on these guys. They are true pros, not like Matty and I. Somewhat guessing here, but hey, I'm doing all right. We were up plus 8.55 units in London again last week, but we've been hitting recently ever since the model tweaks, so we'll see if we can keep it rolling in the Emerald City. And that starts up with this next fight. That's a good intro because this was my first money line that I played this week. Terrence McKinney taking on Kyle Nelson to open up the main card. Oh, we got a question. Where do we get Austin's picks? Home of Fight Discord. You got to join us there. Totally free to join us there. We'll leave a link in the episode description, or you can hit me up on X at ASwaim3. I'll get you an invite to the Home of Fight Discord. I want you to be able to see them. I track everything for free. So if you think I suck and everything, that's fine. But you get all my picks and stuff for free. So it's not like I'm saying I need to be behind a paywall. But back on track with McKinney taking on Nelson here. Maddie, what do you think of this lightweight matchup?
I can already tell you're on Kyle Nelson money line, aren't you?
No.
Oh, wow. That's the first time I was on today.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm torn on this fight. Did you see McKinney's interview? He said he's ready to go 15 minutes for once.
Geez. Every week, he said, every fight week, he says that.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it, bro. I love Terrence McKinney. It's my boy. I was impressed with Kyle Nelson's last performance. And I also think he's a hard guy to just get out of there early. But I'm like completely torn on this fight. I think the money line price is probably about right here. We got a women's cycle super chat. Tyner sub, O'Neal decision, Barbara Grassa ends by KO. That's literally what we would do if we do it.
Yeah,
That has to be what it is.
We were debating that earlier, so we're going to file that super chat away.
The only difference is you can maybe go O'Neal KO if you think the ground and pound or something's live, and then the Barbara Grasso decision one way or the other. But this seems like the most rational way to build a women's cycle is this right here.
Oh, man. I have fight ends KO 13-1, so I guess we'll see what it is. But yeah, I doubt it too. But yeah, I love T-Rex here, dude. And a lot of times I do play him on the money line just because inside the distance and money line are going to be like a few cents different. So the one time McKinney goes to a decision, I don't want to get burned. You know what I mean? So I got minus 145 on Monday. I got a great number. It was still hanging out there to book. What'd you say?
That's a good price.
Yeah, I got minus 145. I think it's still definitely in model value range. I've got it minus 215. Inside the distance, I've got minus 134. So you could presumably still wait and get that number instead of laying the elevated money line. Here's my thoughts of why I agree with it. Nelson to me is a guy that we have been seen willing to be the nail. Steve Garcia took him out in round 1. We saw him on the wrong side of a Billy Quarantillo result. And you look at some of Nelson's wins. The Frivola fight was by far his best win in performance in UFC. The Algeo fight was a weird stoppage. And then Fernando Padilla, Blake Builder, Marco Polo Reyes. It's just a lot of guys that it's like, I don't know how I feel about that when we've seen Nelson finished a total of 4 times in his 5 UFC losses. And to me, if McKinney is allowing you to make you the nail, this guy's one of the best hammers in the entire sports. You give me Terrence McKinney in the first 3 minutes, I think he's one of the most dangerous guys in any division in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah. All right, break down this next fight. Give me 30 seconds, bro. I got to use the restroom.
Okay. Maddie's drinking too many Celsius energy drinks or whatever we have on tap here, but we're going to look up on this next fight here. We got Larian Douglas taking on Julian Juicy J Arosa. I don't know. Are we out of order on this one? I guess this is what we're talking about. I thought I had Abdul Malik Belgarui next, but oh well, we'll talk about this one first. Larian Douglas taking on Julian Juicy J Arosa. Douglas coming off a super, super violent effort on the Contender series, and then Arosa on this other side, a UFC veteran that we've seen for quite some time. Celsius is overpriced. Good comment. You're out of sorts, but that's okay. Oh, we got arguing going on in the chat. Anyway, as we turn back to Larian Douglas and Julian Arosa, I'm curious what Maddie's going to think about this fight, because this is one that I thought may have been on his radar for a cycle. I kind of like an early knockout here. It's been a while since we've seen Julian Arosa's chin sort of fail him. It was April 2023 is the last time. But you look, this guy's gone out in the first round 5 different times in UFC. So it's something that we've seen creep up over and over again in different matchups. He's been in these sort of matchups with guys like Christian Rodriguez and Darren Elkins. And I know Melchizedek Costa had that great head kick and the spinning kick, but he's not a guy that carries a ton of punching power, right? I feel like Douglas is a guy that's willing to wade into the pockets, throws absolute bombs. He's not a super high volume guy, but he is trying to take your lights out with one shot. And to me, that is the worst type of matchup for a guy like Arosa. When Sung Woo Choi, very similar. Fernando Padilla was able to throw down. So I am very much worried about the Arosa attrition here. So Maddie, I kind of like Douglas by early bonk in this fight as you're back.
I agree.
You like that?
Bro, I think this guy's power is the real fucking deal.
Yeah.
He's got the death touch.
I feel like they gave him Arosa because Arosa's gone out.
Arosa fight up close with Costa at the Apex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised he went the distance there.
But Costa's not a guy. I could look up Melk's. Melk last fought in Houston, right? I'll look up what his knockdown rate was before that fight. I know he took out Ige with the spin, but in general, I don't think Melk is a guy with a lot of power. Is that fair?
For sure, but I wonder what happens if this guy goes for it in round 1 though and doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Arosa 2-3 would be so live then.
Okay, so going into the EA fight, Mel Costa's knockdown rate was just 0.29%. That's really, really low.
Arosa's been put away in round one like 5 times in his career.
So many times.
Like 3 or 4 times in the UFC, and I think 4 or 5 total. I mean, that round 1 KO prop is.
Dang, fight to start round 2 is plus 104. I kind of like that, not only for the Douglas early KO, but Erosa has that guillotine as well.
Yeah.
He caught a couple of guys in that guillotine. He caught C-Rod in the guillotine in the first round, and he got Ricardo Ramos as well.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this round 1 KO prop. Plus 180, bro. Erosa round 1 subs plus 1,400.
Plus 1,400, yeah. I agree with you. I feel like Douglas is a guy. You watch how he put out Javier Reyes and Erosa, and now at this point, we've got his age wrong up there. I'm pretty sure Erosa's 37 is what I have in my notes.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking that. He's a guy that the attrition is definitely there, and as we'll talk about with Nico Price in a minute, that typically doesn't get better.
Yeah.
So 36.
Round 2 KO for Douglas jumps up to plus 430.
I definitely think I'll play both. Like I always usually will make sure I play 1-2 if I'm playing early, just because you can get all sorts of weird things with referee stoppages or one takedown or what have you. But our guy Big Maple sent in a super chat, Matty, so let's read it for him here.
Gibson KO, Tanara sub, Sterling decision. I mean, he's playing the value side pretty much on every fucking. That would be brutal for Chase Hooper if he goes back-to-back KO losses, dude.
I don't think it's crazy just because Hooper's striking defense is so bad, but Gibson is not a guy that's shown a lot of KO.
Even look at it.
What, the Gibson KO? It's like plus 550. It's a pretty good number.
Yeah. I mean, that's, to me, if you're going to play Gibson, that's the fucking path, bro. Plus 210 on the money line is just not enough. The KO plus 550, the decision's plus 500.
Under 2.5 in that Gibson Hooper fight is minus 122. I think that's a pretty good number. You get the early Hooper sub, you got the KO.
Wait, say it again?
We didn't talk under 2.5 rounds in that Hooper fight is minus 122. I kind of like that.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't have anything that I wanted to bet per se, but I kind of like that a lot.
Yeah.
But so we're both technically going Douglas here. Or it just feels to me like some of these Contender Series guys, they get these setup spots, and it's like I would be a little scared of it if Erosa had recent knockout losses, but his last one, as I said, while you were gone, April 2023. So it's been almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's just had a bunch of matchups with guys that don't necessarily have a ton of power or carry a ton of power. And then here's Douglas, who Douglas is almost like what do you think about this comparison? What about a male Jessica Andrade? The way that he just throws everything into every shot, dude.
Shit I've ever heard, bro.
And he's a little bit smaller for this division, I guess. I that's kind of how now Andrade throws out a lot of volume, so maybe the comp isn't great there, but yeah,
that's crazy. Bro.
I also wasn't sure we had this in the right order because I think this is the fourth to last fight, but we'll just go with it. Do we have them? Wait, are we just missing the Mansour fight?
We are.
No, that's what it is. Okay, I was like, well, let's talk about it real quick, even though we don't have any graphics up. Mansour Abdul Malik taking on Yusri Belgarui, graphic free, but I think it's a really good fight. It's one of the closest fights in terms of the betting line on this card. I had one circled that I wanted to ask you your opinion about because I think there is a valid argument for both guys. Who do you like in that matchup?
Bro, you know what's crazy is I was so impressed with Yusri's last performance that I'm like, oh, I'm not fading this guy to his next fight. I can't wait to tail him.
Yeah.
And then you match him up with Mansour, and I'm like, fuck.
Yes.
Now I'm getting cold feet, but I kind of still want to take a stab at Yusri by decision, bro. the range, the distance management, the durability. I really want to take a stab at it, but Mansour's a fucking unit, bro. You saw he buy the points plus 320 for an elite kickboxer with huge fucking reach and height. I think if he gets out of round 1, I think he coasts to a decision, winning 2 and 3.
Yeah, Belgarui KO is plus 280. I like Yusri in this fight, like money line perspective. I don't know if I have a favorite between KO or decision.
Yeah.
But I like Yusri a lot. I look at Mansour. He's a guy that I've really liked, like as far as a prospect, and I was interested in him. But you look at his results. He was hurt early against Nick Klein. Went to the 3rd round with Cody Brundage in a not super impressive, not a super high volume fight.
His last fight, or the submission win, right?
Yeah, I mean, and then you got the quick tap of Trockley, who's a guy that's been willing to stick his neck in there as well. I think his best
happen. He might be a small dog.
Yeah, I mean, his best win is the Todorovic early knockout, but Dushko's also a guy that's been knocked out quickly like that before. But what helped Yusri in that Bakoyev fight is that Bakoyev is on the smaller side for 170. Whereas Mansour is an absolute unit.
I had him by sub, and I'll tell you what, that was the most frustrating offensive wrestling performance I've ever seen as a bettor that needed the fight to get to the ground.
Yeah.
I don't think Mansour is going to take him down. And then it's a stand-up fight. I mean, Mansour's bigger and stronger, but like I thought this guy was going to get run through in that fight. I had such a bad read on it. And I'm like, this guy's fucking good, man. He's trained. We already know he's an elite kickboxer, but he's trained all the other elements of MMA, and I think he's fucking really good and well-rounded.
Belgarui?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's horrifying that this guy is training with Alex Pereira, because when you look at the frame and the skill set, is there anybody closer in UFC than Pereira?
No.
I mean, he's just so long, and it's just that easy, same effortless power, just because he's a huge dude for this weight class. And I thought if Belgarui was going to have an undoing, it was going to be his speed, which will be an interesting thing when Mansour is very fast for middleweight, right? But I still feel like Belgarui's distance management, moreover his entry-level takedown defense, looked awesome in that fight. I think it's a little bit like Alex, where everyone thinks they can take Pereira down, or if they matched him up with a wrestler, or they matched him up with Duplessis, like he would have gotten taken down. And Alex just really never gets taken down because he's just so big and he knows how to sprawl against the cage. And Belgarui's learning that same stuff with Glover and Alex Pereira. So,
like I said, I wanted to hammer him in his next fight, but it does scare me a little, just this matchup in particular.
Yeah,
but I have to lean the dog side here for sure.
I kind of like Belgarui KO. I think, like, the more I think about it, because Mansour's been rocked a couple of times.
That's a nice fucking price for a cycle parlay.
Yeah. Well, so KO shorter than decision.
Plus 150? Plus 130?
What is?
What's the end by KO?
Minus 115.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that, because you gotta avoid the sub too. If Mansour
yes, and that to me is my biggest fear if I'm gonna bet Belgarui money line here, is what happens when Abdul Malik's on top, not just the sub but the ground and pound. Like, what's his get up game looks like. I think that's why I haven't bet it yet, and unfortunately it's moving Belgarui's way, so I don't know if I'm going to, because this will probably be close to a pick 'em.
We got a super chat here. Bahamondes, Adesanya, and Grasso. Is that all by decision, looks like?
It's gotta be for 33 to 1.
100. And then we got another super chat. Cooper by sub, Bahamondes KO, Belgari decision. That's not too shabby, bro.
You gotta be careful.
Bahamondes by finish it and then play that.
Hooper sub, Belgarui decision. See if we can swap it.
You'd probably rather I was gonna say, yeah. I like that as a money line play though.
What like those three money lines together?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's a huge difference.
I'm taking a look at that. I was looking at our super chats to see who you might go with so far. We got a lot of activity there, and we appreciate you guys' support. By the way, Matt, I totally forgot to run this by you, Matty. Some of our viewers have said maybe we do a super chat segment at the very end so that we're just not interrupting the show. We just have a dedicated super chat segment.
The problem is people tune in and out, so I think it would kill it.
That's true. Like, we want to make sure we read your super chat while you're here if you end up having to leave.
At the end better, though. We can try that for next show.
Yeah. You did get permission to change that to Bahamondes ITD if you want. So, and we appreciate what you guys let us set at the parlays and stuff. So why don't we move on with enough with Yusri Belgarui here. We'll look at this welterweight retirement fight. Michael Chiesa finally got his Seattle date, and he's taking on a guy that probably should have retired 3 fights ago in Nico Price here. The odds look like they look when you saw how Price went out against Varetnikov in his last fight at the Apex a couple months ago. Yeah, that was a really bad KO loss. And I think that's why Chiesa is a presumptive favorite here. I for one am tired of losing money on Nico Price. I won't be doing so this weekend, even if my model does lean money line. But what do you think of this matchup?
Bro, I think I saw Chiesa KO at like 13-1.
Really?
I'm not seeing it on the fucking board.
How could anybody in this division be 13-1 to KO Nico?
It's 9-1 right now. I swear I saw it plus 1300 somewhere. But it's 9-1 right now. Nico at 8-1. The problem is Chiesa is such a dude. Chiesa's been subbing good fucking like hard guys to sub. I'll never forget I had that Chiesa decision leg in a parlay, and I was against Max Griffin, bro. I'm like, this is easy money. He's up 2-0 on the cards. He does a very good job of avoiding like damage and danger, you know, and he just gets to his game. He circles around the octagon. He doesn't take big shots to the head. His only Achilles heel has been the fucking front chokes. Yeah. But like he's very good at he's a very high IQ guy. He knows what his style and his game plan is. And the question is, does he come out with that style in a retirement fight against a chinny guy? You know, I almost feel like it could be crazy to take Nico on like a round 1 KO here, just because Chiesa's like head in the clouds, retirement fight, trying to get his KO against a guy who's just been getting knocked out left and right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'd be such a flyer. You almost need a bigger price to even think about it.
Yeah.
Round 1 has to be crazy though for Nico. I just have to take a peek just out of curiosity.
I'm with you, dude. Is that Chiesa is minus 570? What'd you say?
Nico round 1 KO is plus 2200.
Dang. But like Chiesa is openly using the retirement word here, and he's minus 575. It just feels so irresponsible. I have Chiesa minus 192.
Been retired mentally.
Yeah, that's true.
We got a small super chat here. Piper sub, Barber points, McKinney KO. That might be a fucking dinner, bro.
That's the first one I've seen where I liked all 3 legs so far.
It might be a dinner, but I might have to take Barber fight to go the distance.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that one next up. But like, I in this fight, you ready for what I have Chiesa KO here, dude? And this is that new attrition factor I added. I have Chiesa KO plus 331.
Yeah, it's fucking nice. I mean, the ground and pound, like, dude, when he gets on your back, like he's fucking beating up Sean Brady in round 1 when he was on his back. It's just like. Then Nico, we saw it happen to him in his last fight. It didn't end up going by TKO. He ended up getting choked, but it's right there to happen. Like the ground and pound TKO is right there to happen.
I feel like Nico is kind of a tough guy to submit. So Jacoby Smith was able to get a rear naked choke, right? But other than that, since the start of 2021, Nico has surrendered 7 submission attempts, and Smith was the only guy he tapped to.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. It's a perfect spot for Chiesa to just lay the ground and pound.
Yeah, I adore this fight to end KO at plus 470.
I think he'd have to be on his back and throw strikes to the head to get it, you know? Yeah. Like, I don't know if you get it on top of it. Like in full mount.
Yeah. I'm not kidding you, dude. Do you remember, and I wanted to make sure I brought this up in my notes, do you remember the Robbie Lawler Nico Price fight in the retirement where I'm still convinced Nico took a dive? Because before that fight, Lawler had gone Lawler had gone since January 2016 without a knockdown, and he put Nico Price down in one punch.
Yeah, it was a weird.
At 13-1 for Chiesa, am I willing to bet it 13-1 or 9-1, depending on where you get it? Am I willing to bet that Nico's here to take a dive again?
Yeah,
I think I am. I think I am at plus 900. I definitely prefer the KO at 9-1 than the sub around even money. But I think we had this argument. Remember when Chiesa
the shot on it, bro, on Chiesa KO? It's just about getting the right price.
And frankly, because Chiesa's 38 and not a very good striker himself, I don't mind fight ends KO at plus 470. I've got it plus 208.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, now we got a comment. Nico did take a dive, so Robbie retired on top. I thought he took a dive in that fight because this was back when Nico was way closer to his prime. The attrition hadn't really mounted yet. He went through that whole violent war with Luque and never went down. And all of a sudden, Lawler got him in the first one. I'm like, did UFC pay that guy to take a dive? Was my first instinct, and I don't know.
Bro, let me sell you on a 2-legger here.
Okay.
So Terrence McKinney posted a collab post with Chiesa on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
His wrestling coach. So he posted like a feel-good Instagram post of like, hey, we're fighting on the same card for Chiesa's retirement fight. Chiesa used to be my coach at like probably 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was. Let me try to sell you on a Michael Chiesa, Terrence McKinney 2-leg KO parlay.
Yes. No sales necessary.
You got to hear the price you already sold.
Well, so are you looking on Hard Rock? Because we got a ping. Chiesa KO on Hard Rock is 12-1 right now, dude.
There it is. I knew
it's a great number.
Hold on, bro. I'm getting this in before everyone kills the number.
This is our official show, Long Shot.
All right, bet. Hold on. I got to get this shit in real quick. Chiesa KO 12-1. McKinney KO. I almost want to go McKinney KO to the under 1.5.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, obviously that's probably the way it's going to go, but
35-1, bro.
I love it.
Oh my God.
And Nelson's a tough guy to sub, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got what is McKinney KO, bro? I've got it plus 258.
I gotta play it at 35-1.
What is McKinney KO on its own? Because I've got it plus. Oh, I kind of lean sub, but I don't hate it at all. What is double champ?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can kind of go contrarian route and go Chiesa KO, McKinney sub. That would pay crazy.
Yeah, McKinney's just such a tough guy to bet for an exact outcome.
Because 250. I mean, is it better to go McKinney round one? No, I can't even do that. I gotta trust him to get the KO.
What if we went McKinney round one, Chiesa round one?
Yeah, but you get rid of the big upside on Chiesa.
And Douglas round one.
No. Let me see what Chiesa round one is. It's plus 220. It kills the whole fucking upside.
Oh, man, because of the sub.
Yeah, no, we got to go. Plus, Chiesa could easily get a TKO ground and pound round two.
I'm down with it. I will not be playing. So it'll give me a rooting interest because I'm not playing an exact outcome from McKinney. He drives me nuts with that stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll give me a rooting interest and a little bit of a parlay. If you're an MMA fan, we got Izzy Piper takes. Let's get to the Comey.
McKinney decision dropped in half because of that interview.
I've been betting McKinney decision for 3 or 4 years now, and every time he gets in there, the dude just sees red from the opening bell. You can't stop him. He says, I'm going to take it easy. I saw a clip on Reels. I saw a clip where the interviewer asked him, McKinney, are you going to fight like a dumbass this time, or are you going to fight smart? And all Terrence said is, I'm going to fight to win, which makes me think he's going for the KO early. That's just the way he is. Nelson could definitely win the fight. I mean, if Kyle Nelson survives the first 8 minutes, he's probably going to win in going away, most likely by late finish. So it's like, that's just the dichotomy of Terrence McKinney, man. But
No.
All righty, man. Let's take a look at this co-main event because you said you may be leaning decision here. Maycee Barber taking on Alexa Grasso. Another rematch. This all the way back from 2022.
Your chat real quick.
Okay, what you got?
Sub Gabby round 2 KO. Your streak round 3 KO. Oh my god, 109 to 1.
Who's Gabby?
That's 1,000 to 1, right? I can't read that.
110. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
Is that Gabby Fernandez?
Yeah.
This is a Casey O'Neill podcast, Big Maple. I'm sorry. Anyway, Maycee Barber, Alexa Grasso rematch. Who you got? I'll leave it at that.
Bro, I kind of feel like Grasso's being disrespected a little bit, but at the same time, she kind of deserves it. She's fought very high level competition, but she just looks like shit. She doesn't have a lot of power. Barber's going to be coming downhill with more power.
Okay.
And do we really have confidence that Grasso can take Barber down?
No. Does Grasso doesn't really have that in her kit at all. Just 0.41 takedowns per 15.
It's just like it's either Grasso decision. I don't know. I guess I got to take Maycee Barber, but I really hate this line.
Yeah, I think it's Barber points too. I've got it. Let's see. I got it plus
like 8 fights in a row, hasn't she?
Who? Barber?
Am I tripping?
It's a big streak. Did she have a draw mixed in there that I'm forgetting? No, she's won 7 in a row.
7. Okay.
7, starting with the Miranda split decision.
It's lower level competition, but that's still a lot of. It's really not that crazy lower. I mean, Karine Silva, Amanda Hebos, it's really not. Miranda Maverick, Jillian Robertson.
Disrespecting my girl Andrea Lee closer to her prime. She really fizzled out at the end.
I'm sold, bro. Give me Maycee Barber by points.
I like it too. I've got it plus 102, so I'll see what I can find from a number perspective. I got Barber money line at minus 158 parlayed in my CLV parlay here. Mm-hmm. So that was a better number. She's closer to minus 180 most everywhere you turn now. I think it's as simple as this. Alexa Grasso has really struggled to defend takedowns, just 54%, and Barber has those really strong, powerful judo throws, and that's how we saw Valentina take Grasso down over and over again. Yeah. I'm sure she's been training against it, but I think there's a size difference here. I think there's a physicality difference here. And the stat that I pulled that I just cannot believe, Alexa Grasso has lost 16 of her last 19 rounds, and you get only plus 138. It's just not a very good appealing price for someone that doesn't. Her boxing isn't special. Takedown defense concerned. She plays jiu-jitsu off her back a lot, and really the only submission she secured then was the Valentina one that started that whole trilogy. But she lost to Valentina in the fight. She got a draw. That was the 10-8 fight. I feel like Grasso doesn't have ability to separate in this level, so it's probably going to be a close fight. But I think Maycee's size, her strength, and her wrestling are the difference here.
100%. I'm with you. You sold me, bro. It wasn't hard to sell me on this one.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Jillian Robertson decision where the number isn't very appealing, but like you look at the finishing paths for both ladies and you see the matchup on paper. It's like, was Lemos really going to stop herself from jumping Gilly a couple of times against Robertson? No, she wasn't. And that's kind of the thing with Grasso. She's too willing to play jiu-jitsu off her back. If I got a Maycee like DFS control time prop, I put it at like 5.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So
fair enough.
Yeah. All righty, let's move to the main event, my friend. Revenge game for Jake on the money with the intro this week. I love it. All right. We got what do you say?
Breakdown of the fight is all you have to see. Just don't listen to anything we say, anything the chat says. Fight for by submission, and then retire. That's the breakdown.
Well, I mean, you did bet it straight here and again. A really nice number compared to the number you see on the screen.
Ready? Here comes all the trolls, bro. Let's see. Actually, some people like it.
So let's break this down. Israel Adesanya is like a minus 135, minus 140 favorite here. He's lost 3 in a row, but it's been at a championship level. Why do you like Piper's sub here? Like, what other than getting an outstanding number? what about the matchup makes you like the submission here? Because I don't disagree.
I mean, bro, I think that Pfeiffer's grappling has shown how good it is. I mean, the Abdul fight, the fucking what was the recent one? The Abul Smagomedov's not really an easy guy to submit.
No.
And he's kind of like a tricky striker on the feet. I'm not saying he's the same as Adesanya, but like I think Piper's submission grappling is even better than DDP's. I think there's also a world where Adesanya's winning the fight and Piper has to chase it. You know, it's not crazy to think Piper could be down a couple rounds here. He seems to be a new man. He's like found God. He's in crazy shape. He's more level-headed. I think he comes in with the right fight game plan here. I think he can get double legs. I think he can like transition his striking into takedowns up against the cage. I think Izzy can do a good job overall of avoiding the grappling, but I think all it takes is one time for him to get his back. And at 9-1, I have to fucking take that. It's just crazy number.
Yeah, I mean, so just to spoil the lead here, I've got submission plus 497. So I thought I mean, that's just an outstanding number that you got there. And I'm gonna go to Novig, whether it's a 7 or 8-1 by the time the show's over. I don't care. I'll still go there and find it. But I think grappling is Piper's path here. And I am surprised to see so many people backing Izzy when you've seen sort of the decline that I don't want to say that like I called it, but like I think the most signature thing that I've been talking about with my model for a long time. You remember you and I bet Pereira way back in the first fight before Alex Pereira was Pereira. And I've been telling you behind the scenes, I'm like, I just think that Izzy is this guy that doesn't separate and he's not quite the super. It's been a long, long time since that Paulo Costa fight, man. And you have a lot of boring decisions with Yoel Romero and Whitaker, and then the loss to Pereira. And it's like, so then you have the Strickland fight where he gets dominated. Duplessis really was able to win early rounds and then submit him. Imavov, Abus has better grappling than Izzy, and Piper subbed him. I totally agree with that.
It's been a gas tank, but it's an accurate comment.
And that's the problem for Izzy is as he's slowed down when he's older, his movement hasn't helped the fact that we know he's not a very good defensive grappler. He's never really had that in his game. Piper is fucking huge for middleweight. I mean, he's so big for this.
Right now, he's more shredded than he's ever been. I think some of these like fights have really helped him. He's a changed guy since that Jack Hermanson fight, because I know that's the argument is if Hermanson can stick and move and outpoint Joe Piper, why can't Adesanya? But it's like that was a wake-up call for Joe Piper. He's completely transformed since then, and Adesanya is just on the downward spiral.
Here's the difference between that matchup to me is that Adesanya is a fighter that typically has struggled moving backwards. That's how Strickland caught him. That's how Imavov caught him. Hermanson's very comfortable moving backwards. So he was able to chop at Piper's legs. He was able to still get his own offense off. And then the cardio was the biggest difference. And Piper had never been 5 rounds going into that fight. I don't have as strong of a lean to the submission versus KO here, but I like inside the distance. And I think the way to play it, Piper round 1, 2, 3 is plus 210. That's the angle that I'm looking at in this fight, because if it goes longer, maybe you are getting into that territory where Adesanya outpoints him. I've got Izzy over twice as likely to win a decision should it hit the cards. And most of Izzy's win equity I've got built into a decision, but I've got this fight almost 50-50, like almost identical 50-50. So if you find Piper in that plus 110 range, that's pretty good from a money line perspective. But to me, I'm just going to play the early finish here on the basis that Piper's huge. He's shredded. He takes the right game plan with his grappling. And I think he's a better jiu-jitsu guy than Dricus Duplessis. And Dricus subbed him, so.
And look how fast Izzy tapped to that sub, and look how fast that Dricus was able to get work up the back and lock it in so quickly, bro.
The Philly gym that's out there with Sean Brady.
You know what Sean Brady would do to Adesanya? I mean, I know it's a different weight class, but I still think Sean Brady would sub Adesanya.
Yeah. But also Jeremiah Wells is out there as well, and I'm probably forgetting some other guy. Pat Sabatini, much smaller weight class, but that is a gym that makes its pride on power double legs and getting the guys' backs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that an underrated component, if you like Piper here, is his power. He dropped Kelvin Gastelum twice. I guess Izzy did 4 times way back in the day. But
yeah.
Piper's a way better grappler than DDP. Dricus is just a brute. I feel like Piper is just as big and strong when you look at these guys.
Yeah.
And that is one of Izzy's biggest issues is these modern middleweights are all more like light heavyweights. And you remember what happened to him in the Jan Blachowicz fight? He just didn't have the size to compete. He didn't have the size to stay on his feet. And despite what he says, I think there also has to be a confidence thing.
Survive that. Like, this is not a prime Izzy.
I feel like there's a confidence thing that if Piper's got his back in this fight, that Izzy's thinking, here I go again. I'm about to lose a fourth straight fight, and I'm in a difficult position. It's hard to not let those demons creep in when you were once the man that could not be touched, and now all of a sudden everybody's beating you in a 2.5 year stretch.
Yeah.
So I like Joe. Obviously, I like Joe Pyfer here. I thought that. I thought that Izzy would be in a decent buy low spot before they announced this matchup, but geez, I mean, Piper's been a guy UFC's really liked for a while. I'm surprised he's not on the White House card. What do you got there? I can't see it.
Can't read it.
No, I can't read it. What you got? Cash out? Oh, McKinney KO, Chiesa KO. I love it.
2,600 to win 100,000, baby.
Wow, that's all. Can you imagine? Okay, so McKinney gets it done, and you are sweating Michael Chiesa's retirement fight, and Nico Price takes a dub, dude. Electric. Now, you agreed me you were going to pay me 1% commission on cycles. Can it apply to that parlay?
I got you, bro. I'm going to give you 1%, and I'm going to give the chat 1%.
Yeah, well, I know you do well with the giveaways.
This one's hidden, dude. This one is fucking hidden.
Yeah. By the way, everybody hates on you. You post all your slips and you do giveaways every time you win. I don't understand it, but that's YouTube for you.
Bro, it's unbelievable. People have the audacity to say that I fake slips during March Madness because Novig made a mistake on the Iowa score. Yeah. So they put 73-72 Florida.
Yes.
And so I posted that screenshot and everyone's like, oh, fake slip. You forgot to Photoshop the score wrong or right. And I'm like, bro, the app made a mistake. I showed you guys a screen recording of my pending wager, my settled wagers. It's just unbelievable.
You're definitely not doing well with March Madness underdogs.
If I Madness slips, I'd be happy as shit because I wouldn't be down fucking 20 grand.
Yeah. But you know, I know you're always betting those. I was afraid of the underdogs, and I'm sorry that the conventional narrative ended up getting the best of you, but people cry about anything. Someone spent $2 just to put this up on screen. Can we do it, Matty? People cry about anything in life. It's so funny. Did he submit a super chat? Can we pick his if we haven't picked one already?
Not mistaken.
He did. He sent a few. Piper sub, Barber points, McKinney KO. I think we got to go with that one. 37-1.
Yeah. All right. We take right now no vig, but we're gonna. No, we got to take it as is, bro. 100% because we just agreed on Macy too. This is
I think we take it as is there.
All right.
Gabby he also sent us 5 super chats today.
Gabby
so
P's getting $50 of action on this one, boys. This is why it pays the super chat.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the support there.
Let's see if Piper sub's still at 9-1 on here. It's still at 9-1. He's about to get a crazy price on this. What about Piper sub McKinney KO? It's already at 26-1. Barber decision.
So that's another plus 100 that we're throwing on there or so.
Plus 51.63 on that cycle, boys.
$100, right? Yeah.
Guys, if that's not a reason to go look at Novig right now,
I
don't know what is. 14-1 odds better.
They don't pay me anything. I've just enjoyed being able to bet UFC props again in Texas. It's been sick. And the odds are good.
I'm put a band on this, bro. On a max is 500. I'm putting 500 on it. It's in, boys.
All right, let's do it. And by the way, we built a couple parlays, but let's make some official ones, okay?
500 or 26,000.
Did you say 500 pays 26,000 for that?
6,000, bro.
Goodness gracious.
If Gabby P hits that shit, he gets 2,600. I'm gonna round that shit up to 3,000 for Gabby if that hits. He gets $3,000 if that hits.
Wow. Yeah, that's so cool. Now, and by the way, this is what's so cool about betting UFC the way you do. You've had this long slump, and you're like, dude, I haven't hit a bet all year. It feels like, and you're one weekend away from being up for the year as is. It's an interesting thought. I don't know if it's mathematically sound like I want it to be, but it's cool. I'll say that much. But what do you think? What do you think? So we have the official show long shot. So I'll put a few of these out there. We have the super chat up on the screen. Our show long shot we're going with here is the double combo McKinney KO and Chiesa KO. What did those odds come out to be, Matty?
I'm posting on Twitter right now. Plus 51.63.
51 to 1. And I'll put that in chat for everybody. Oh, I did a really bad job typing that out. I'm kind of typing around my microphone, so sometimes it doesn't always pan out for me. Jake or Maddie, you guys want to throw that up there? So the show long shot again officially McKinney KO, Chiesa KO. We're going 51 to 1. Model approved. And Maddie, by the way, the safe parlay smacks again. 7 out of 9 weeks, bro.
That's insane.
See, I go through the comments and I read it's like Austin doesn't know what he's talking about. I give you guys one official bet every week. It's hit 7 of the last 9 weeks. I want some thank yous. You're welcome. You're welcome. What you're doing is you're not safe parlay. However, I did say on last week's show, I said there was no way I was going to parlay Chanel Dyer's money line, and I ended up doing it in the safe parlay, but it ended up being free. So
let's go.
So sometimes my initial reaction is not right, but let's see if we can build a safe parlay this week in earnest. Let's see. Tainara sub or points is minus 400.
Jesus.
That's so gross. Oh, I shouldn't do it, okay? Tainara.
You can't that price, bro, because Bruno Rizzo could just outstrike her.
Yeah. I'd be so mad at myself if that ended up happening here. I'm just looking at the money line landscape. It's not a great weekend for safe parlay money lines. I can't get there with Chase Hooper on the money line. I think you just bet early sub if you like him anyway.
Yeah.
I might be willing to go Douglas though.
I mean, why don't you take Macy Barber money line and then take a cheeky total?
I've already got a lot wrapped into Barber money line is the thing. But yeah, man, it's almost minus 190 on FanDuel. Barber taking a ton of money, dude.
I'll go Macy Barber to Ignacio and call it a fucking day. You know that's the move. That's the move, bro. 100%.
You gotta let me cook here, bro. I've gotta.
I'm telling you. Macy Barber to Ignacio's plus 102, bro. That's an Austin special.
I can't get there at minus 190.
Yeah. Or you can just take Macy by points as a straight bet. Look, the chat likes it, bro. I don't see the super chat from Douglas. I don't see the super chat. Where did I miss it?
Oh, I really liked that one. Sterling KO at minus 160. I really liked that one. As like a parlay sort of leg, I'm just like, I'm in.
Yeah, Sterling KO to Ignacio money line.
Okay. I think I got it. Okay. Sterling KO. Simon Yanez starts round 3. It's plus 120.
Oh God. Over Ignacio? You gotta sweat the chin of fucking Adrian Yanez?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just go Ignacio, bro. He's not losing. Ignacio cannot lose this fight, dude. Minus 310 is cheap, I think.
I agree. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing Ignacio money line and Sterling KO.
Is my fault, and if it wins,
yeah. I don't need to hedge that way. I just McKinney decision trust. It's all right. So Bahamondes money line. I definitely think money line is a good safe parlay leg because I like the submission sprinkle, but I feel like he's live all three ways there.
Yeah.
And it's plus 114 if you wrap those legs together. Of course, I'll shop that before it becomes an official play in the Homo Fight Discord for me. I'll shop tonight's parlays and see what I can find. Probably Novig going to be the best odds if I had to take a guess, but we shall see. We appreciate you guys joining us here this weekend. I am so terrible every week. I always go, where are we next week? And then Jake, who's actually paying attention to the schedule, tells me where we are. But I know it's definitely. Oh, we got Moicano.
UFC Duncan. Vegas 115.
Yeah, we got Moicano Duncan at the Apex. Your guy, Money Moicano. That's why he hasn't been on Show Me the Money, right? He's been hard at work.
I need him to fucking win. He's been bet to a dog already. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, those are two ATT guys going at it. So that's an interesting matchup.
From a minus 190 to a plus 150 is crazy, bro.
Against Duncan? I mean, Duncan's a killer, though. I got to dig in and see.
Yeah, but it should be a pick'em, bro. I really did line that fight as a pick'em. I mean, I lined like a minus 120, minus 130, and he's already a plus 150. So it's like, I have to take my guy, bro.
Well, we'll see. I get to model that this week. I'll report back with the odds, but I appreciate. What'd you say?
5 rounds.
Yeah, that's true. By the way,
man.
I am pretty sure I'm going to show value on Moicano by the time I get there, and it's like plus 170. Yeah.
I mean, people argue that Duncan is better for Duncan the later it goes because he's a dog, but Moicano's been in 5 rounders.
That's true. Well, I guess we'll just have to see. We'll see what we ended up cooking. I've been thinking about Seattle this whole week, especially since my Homo Fight on homofight.com, my betting primer comes out Fridays. I want to thank you guys so much for the support for my betting primer. I am regularly doubling up what some of my old betting guides were doing at some of my previous stops. You guys have been so supportive of that. I appreciate everybody checking that out every Friday.
That's crazy. I saw Bet Online. He was like plus 150 already.
It's the other way around. Duncan's minus 194. He got the odds wrong.
Okay.
But I appreciate you guys supporting that. Maddie, the official cycle parlay dropping Friday as well then for you?
Yes, sir. Probably tomorrow.
Oh, probably tomorrow. Well, we've got some pretty definitive reads. I called it to you on Monday. I texted you. I said I think we got some good stuff, and I loved today's show. It felt like a really, really great show where we got some angles we like. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, we'll be back for the Apex next week. All of the support we very much appreciate, whether it be this show, whether it be Homo Fight, whether it be Homo Fight cards, whether it be Novig, all of the partners that make us appropriate. We appreciate you guys helping out the brand and hanging out with us. As always, best of luck. May the scoring be in your favor and enjoy the fights on Saturday, everybody.
Yes, sir. Peace out, bro. Good